Last summer in Paris, the U.S. men's gymnastics team won their first medal in nearly 2 decades. Now with the home Olympics in LA on the horizon, 4 of those athletes return, including last year's all-around champion Brody Malone, back at age 25 with new motivation for the sport. Plus the 2023 world's bronze medalist and the 2023 U.S. national champion. Both are top contenders for this weekend's all-around title. And finally, the Pommel horse guy, Steven Nedoroscik, is back and ready to make more magic. It's men's day 1 from the Crescent City now. NBC Sports welcomes you to the 2025 Xfinity U.S. Gymnastics Championships. Welcome to the Big Easy, New Orleans, Louisiana. The athletes are ready inside the Smoothie King Center, which for 4 days will be home to the U.S. Gymnastics Championships. Hello, everyone. I am John Roethlisberger, and I am joined by Olympic champion Tim Daggett. Tim, just over a year ago, the U.S. men won the bronze medal at the Olympic Games, but the calendar has turned. Now all eyes are on L.A. in 2028 and new expectations.
Well, you know, it was a 16-year drought for Team USA to get on that podium. And, you know, they did that in Paris with the bronze. I spoke to Asher Hong about it, and he says, yeah, that was a good start, you know, the bronze. But we want more. We were less than 2 points away from Japan and that team gold medal. That gold can happen, he said.
And you know what it's like to win a gold medal on home turf. You did it in L.A. in 1984, but this competition, although people have eyes set on LA, this competition holds something that all these athletes want.
Yeah, I say it all the time. If you're an American male gymnast, you dream of a bunch of different things. You want to go to a Worlds, to an Olympics, maybe win a medal at those two competitions, but you also covet winning a national all-around title. It is a very big deal, and that test should come down to the 2 Olympians, Frederick Richard and Asher Hong.
It'll be fun to watch these two go at it throughout this competition. And before the competition, the 3rd member of our team, Brittany Urton, caught up with Frederick Richard.
Frederick, when we spoke yesterday, you said this year you're pacing yourself. You're about 80% coming into this weekend's competition. So with that said, what does success look like?
Yeah, success looks like hitting every event, number 1, and doing these sets as sharp as possible. 80% doesn't mean you're not ready. 80% means I'm about 80% of my full difficulty, which I'll need for the world stage. On this stage, it's execute as clean as possible.
You were on the biggest stage a year ago, part of the bronze medal winning team for Team USA. What are your takeaways, not only from that experience, but the last year as a whole?
I feel like I learned so much from that experience. I feel like I kind of grew up and then realized, like, now we're the leaders of the sport. You know, we brought home that medal. We are the people who are going to set the stage for the future of our sport. So I take that responsibility, and I'm trying to make big waves in the sport.
You've done a lot in the past year, though. You've traveled the world. What about those experiences?
I mean, I've just seen so many different cultures now, just learned a lot from each culture, but then just gymnastics-wise, I think we have what it takes. We have the talent. The knowledge is there now. It's just executing to be on that first place spot in 2028.
Frederick, thank you for the time and good luck.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Frederick Richard, obviously somebody that we're going to keep a close eye on throughout the next 3 years, Tim. He's really become a personality in the sport of gymnastics as we see Colt Walker from Stanford getting ready to start things off on the vault.
And, you know, this is a young man right here who was in the hunt to make that Olympic team. At different points, I really thought it could happen for him. He dealt with some injuries, had a back problem, lost some strength in his legs, but he is looking very strong here today. Oh, too strong on that one.
A lot of juice. Yeah, 2022, he was part of that World Championship team that finished 5th, and talked to his coach, who you just saw right there, Tom Galimi, and he said he was really tracking towards being on that Olympic team, and then went home for a Christmas break, got on a trampoline at his home gym and tweaked it back, and it just never was the same over the next 2 years.
Yeah, and what happened is he lost a lot of strength in his legs. Vault and floor exercise used to be Colt's by far best events. After that injury, he had to scale back on some of the difficulty, and it really hurt him quite a bit in his effort.
.75 on that vault, Tim.
Yeah, you see that 8.95 execution. That's out of a 10.0. The difficulty is additive. So the harder skills that you do in the competition, the higher that difficulty score can be.
And this guy right here, a young gymnast, just 18 years old, Danila Lakin, moments ago on high bar, an event I know you're very excited about him, Tim, but he's got a tremendous amount of talent.
Oh boy, he is just effortless in so many different ways. Beautiful lines. Gotta hit handstands. That was nicely done. Check this out here. Double front with a half over the bar. Oh! And just a little bit too far away. But he's a young guy, and he has a very bright future. Certainly, the artistic component of his gymnastics is spectacular.
Well, I talked to Kevin Majika, former Olympic coach, national team coordinator, former for the USA, and he said about him, he went a step further, Tim. He said he's got the natural ability to even be an Olympic champion.
Doing it again right here. Oh, and once again, just too far from the bar. Not the start he wanted, that's for sure.
We're going to see a lot of gymnastics from that young man. There's the 11.6. That is definitely in the red. Unfortunate start for Lakin. So over to the pommel horse. Pommel horse by itself, you mentioned the pommel horse guy in the open, Stephen Nedoroscik, but there's a lot of great pommel horsemen in this competition. This is one of them. Brandon Dang from Illinois talked to his coach before the competition, said didn't miss all year, went to the national championships, didn't get it done there, but he's capable of big things.
Oh gosh, he is so beautiful on this event. Super extended body, and he makes things like that skill on one pommel that are so difficult look effortless, and that is exactly what is asked of these gymnasts. Do the hardest things in the world and make it look like it's nothing. Excellent routine, couple of little form breaks, but tremendous job for him.
He is loving it. Pan American Championship gold medalist on pommel horse, Winter Cup gold medalist on pommel horse, and the Baku World Cup champion on this event as well. I think Stephen Nedoroscik has given life to the pommel horse specialists, has given them something to believe that they can be an Olympic medalist.
Look at that. Three-quarter spin on one pommel, and then he just camps out here. And what he does so well, his body extension. He never bends in his hips. Judges are keying in on that. Really is amazing. There are so many, not just good, not even just great, but phenomenal pommel horse workers in the United States right now.
It's fun to watch. You talk about like finals at the Olympic Games, and people talk about high bar and the big vaults, but I love and appreciate pommel horse, I think, more than any of them, just because it's like a maestro. When you're on, it's just like music up there, and Brandon Dang demonstrated that right there with that routine.
Yeah, I'll tell you, what a year he has had. You listed all of those titles, and he's for real. He can play in the big leagues as well, not just in the U.S., but, you know, winning that World Cup title is a tremendous accomplishment for this young man.
And obviously for someone like Brandon Dang, not going to win the all-around title, obviously here, he only does pommel horse, but can become a national champion on that event, also can become part of the U.S. national team, and there is a World Championships later this fall that it's very likely with these pommel horsemen, one of them is going to go.
I would say that one of the specialists will be on that team for sure. Big number right there, the 15.4, 680 at a 5.9 difficulty score and almost a 9.0 execution.
We mentioned him in the Open, one of the favorites to win the all-around title here. He won the all-around title here in 2023. This is Asher Hong, coming off that Olympic bronze medal last summer.
And you remember this in Paris, right? This vault right here in the team final for Asher Hong. It was electrifying. One of the hardest pieces of gymnastics currently done in the world. 3 flips with a full twist. Oh boy. And just a little bit off to the side on the landing. And you have so much momentum on that vault. If you're a little bit off, it's just gonna accelerate you to the side. He, of course, will get some deductions for the landing. But check this out. It is 3 times around, 3 flips with a full twist right there, and he's pulling so hard, but you see him drifting to the side, both feet over that line. That's a 3/10 deduction in addition to the steps. And
we've seen him do that vault many times, Tim. And a lot of times we're like, pull to keep making. He doesn't really need to pull to the floor. He's got plenty of air. It's just the axis that was a problem.
Yeah, he was way too around the side on that one and just kind of spits him out sideways. But Asher actually has an opportunity to make that world team with this vault and his next one. He's the only athlete that can lock in a spot on vaulting because he's the only one that does enough difficulty. You see that 5.6. They need to average a 5.4 difficulty score and win the event at these championships.
Wow.
Really nice. Did that in Paris, and I think it's a little bit cleaner now, a little bit hoppy though.
Moving quickly over to the parallel bars, a young athlete up and coming. I guess not too young anymore. He's moving up in the world, but new to this quadrennium as somebody to keep an eye on for that next Olympic team, Fuzzy Bennis.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, he's a talent. No question about it. Has had just a slew of injuries, one thing after another. Came back from all of those and actually probably had one of his best meets ever at the Olympic trials, was 6th in the all-around. Double front half, small little hop on the landing. A good routine, doesn't have the massive difficulty that we'll see from some of the other athletes, but a good start for Fuzzy.
Yeah, I think that trials performance kind of put him on the map and gave people a notice. Hey, this kid could be for real. And you mentioned injuries. I mean, he has had so many shoulder surgery. Ligament in his hand was cut carving a pumpkin.
Yes.
First of all, you shouldn't carve pumpkins. Let's just skip it and put up the Christmas lights, all right? Just torn Achilles tendon after that, and recently a torn ligament in his thumb that was fixed last November, December. So he is really battling. I'd love to see what he can do if he can stay healthy for the next 3 years. One of the favorites for the all-around, Frederick Richard, he gets going on one of his better events, the floor exercise here at the National Championships.
And you know, we said that Asher Hong, he has that title that every gymnast covets, the national all-around title. Frederick does not have that yet, and he would love to.
He's not bashful about his want of that national title, which I kind of appreciate.
Won the NCAAs this year. Really nice open, both in the all-around and was instrumental in Michigan coming home with the team title, defeating Stanford and denying Stanford a 6-in-a-row championship.
Coming up on rings for Nebraska will be Christopher Heinzen. Up next on Pommel for Ohio State.
This is a new requirement after the Olympic Games. They added a scale in, but the governing body of sport, the FIG, is already talking about and has planned to modify that so you won't have to do that scale if you don't want to. A lot of the athletes are like, what are we doing?
They're not thrilled.
Yeah.
They don't like the scale. That was a mainstay back in our day, Tim, and it was a nice way to
You excelled
rest.
at it, John, from what I remember.
It was the best part of my floor routine, actually. It was when I tumbled that things went wrong.
Very nice job from Frederick. A little bit hoppy. Have to finish with a double somersault now. That's another new rule. Pike double somersault, a big hop, and you saw both of those heels are out of bounds. So that is a 3/10 neutral deduction. And I bring up the neutral deduction because you see his uniform. It's a little bit different than everybody else's. I don't know if on floor they're going to be able to say that it doesn't it doesn't fulfill the requirements for the uniform, but Frederick has been very outspoken about trying to change and update the look of a male gymnast. Big first tumbling run here. 2 flips, 2 twists in a laid out position. Nicely done, just the hop back. Last pass, remember, this is new since the Olympic Games. You have to finish with a double back somersault. He does a double pike and it is just skied. Can't really see from this angle, but both of those heels beyond the white line. The line is in. If you go and touch the blue outside of it, you incur those deductions.
Justin, you got it. Let's go. Go, Justin.
Here's the symbols, Tim, that we've seen over the last few years. Excellent in the green, safe, the score that'll kind of maybe keep you in it. The below average, that's the one that's going to cost you the title. You can't have too many of those. Fuzzy Bennis in the yellow with that 13.45 for that parallel bar routine. One of the best in the world on the horizontal bar has been Brody Malone after the last few years. He's a world champion on this event. Not doing the all-around in today's competition, defending all-around champ from last year, but just 4 events due to a knee injury. Here he is on the high bar.
You know, it was shocking in Paris for me to watch him. He fell 2 times on high bar, and I didn't believe that it could happen to him. In the qualifying, he said it was the worst meet of his entire life. That's a new skill for him. A little bit close. Oh boy, and a big problem right from the start. Another in-bar skill and another huge error for Brody. He was supposed to do that one and connect it into this skill right here. And you could see that he was not going to get back to the bar on that. A very, very unusual and a poor start for him.
Yeah, you know, he's had a lot going on in the last year, like a lot of these Olympians have. He got involved with the post-Olympic tour, the GOAT tour with Simone Biles, and got married as well, and not really the typical lead-up the year prior to a national championship for Brody Malone. Not trying to give him excuses,
yep.
But the fact is it's been a different year for him.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But what he has done so far is the worst I've ever seen him be. He's going to repeat that element and comes off the bar again. And one of the things he said about his Olympic performance, he was so disappointed in himself in the qualifying rounds that he couldn't get himself back on track. He was always very good at that, but and he looks a little bit defeated at this point in time. And you know, for a long time after the Olympics, he was thinking, you know what, I'm done. I want to start a family. Got married, big release.
Whoa, that was almost another.
Yeah.
He almost ended up in the front row on that one.
And another one right here. You're just looking to land safely at this point in time, and he does. Haven't seen anything like that. And Brody, don't look at the score. Don't do it. Ouch, 5.85 execution out of a 10.
He was flirting with the old school 10.0 on that one. Unfortunately for Brody, 13.752 for the first event for Frederick Richard. The 2025 Xfinity U.S. Gymnastics Championships is brought to you by Nike, bringing inspiration and innovation to every athlete around the world. Nike, the official partner of USA Gymnastics. By P&G, proud worldwide partner of the Olympic and Paralympic Games. By Prevagen.
Welcome back to New Orleans, night 1 of the men's competition, the U.S. Gymnastics Championships. After the first rotation, Asher Hong leading them all. Now, Asher Hong's motto could be flying high, sticking landings, and smelling great. Yes, you heard me right, smelling great, just as important to him as the first two. he's become somewhat of a fragrance connoisseur. When I spoke to him earlier today, he said that he's acquired over 120 different types of colognes. He said it's something that just started to be unique, to be a little different and stand out, maybe impress the ladies. It's come to the point where he's such an expert that his teammates will even ask him for advice. Now, each scent it has a different place, a different time. His competition scent, now that's YSL. It did well for him the last 2 seasons, wearing it again tonight, and actually was the very first cologne he ever purchased. So gentlemen, we'll see how it fares this weekend if the YSL does the touch.
John.
One rotation in here at the Xfinity US Gymnastics Championships, and the 2023 all-around champion. It's early, just one rotation, but he's got that lead ahead of Preston Ngai and Junei Wei. Second rotation, getting ready to go.
Turn it up! Get a run! Go, Colt! You admit, man, take your spot!
2022 World Team member and Stanford Cardinal. Colt Walker moves to his second event, the parallel bars. An opportunity here, Tim. We talk about lock spots for the World Championships, which is part of the dynamic of this competition, and he's got a shot here.
Yeah, you have to have a difficulty score of 5.7 or higher, and then you have to win the event over the 2 days of competition. He's the only one on parallel bars that has that potential score. So this is a big routine for him, looking for a little redemption after not qualifying for the Olympic Games. But, he told me one time, gymnastics is so hard. If you look at it, we just saw him earlier on vaulting, and that's a leg event. You're using power. He said gymnastics is like 6 different sports. Every single one is so different, and a lot of times they don't even really relate. Really tough skill right there, done extremely well. Big release right here from one end of the bars to another. We asked him, are you going all the way to 2028? He says, I don't know. It's 1 year at a time at this point. A couple of big bounding steps forward, but a solid routine for Colt. Would like to have that dismount back, though, I think, John.
Yeah, gave away a lot on those landings. Each of those steps at least 0.3 of a point. But other than that, very good routine. Should get that 5.7 start value, you think?
I think so.
Yeah, has a mechanical engineering degree from Stanford and talking about maybe working as a mechanical engineer and training. If just training's not hard enough.
Big skill right there. The underbar skill, a giant to a skilled. And here is a Bafsar named after U.S. Olympian Raj Bafsar, who now is working with the men's program. But the dismount. So if more than a foot apart on each step, it's a 3/10 deduction, and that was definitely 2 3/10 deductions. And the judges aren't finished with their deductions there. He's probably going to lose close to a point on that dismount alone.
Still can win parallel bars, though.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely in the hunt for that event. And again, that locked spot at the World Championships coming up later this fall. Moving over to the rings, and our first look at Cameron Nelson from Ohio State. Become affectionately called the triple back guy because he's got so many triple backs to him, including, I believe, a new dismount here on rings.
Yeah, it's just outrageous. He does 2 of them on floor exercise. Nobody in the world has ever done that. Stand out at Ohio State, and it was a very level position, but John, I don't know, what do you think? I didn't see
He's gotta
a definite stop.
Got to stop. Didn't quite stop, which he could lose the whole value of that skill, which would be catastrophic to his final score.
Here we go, the dismount, triple back. Nicely done.
Easy.
One of the things that the governing body of sport. They changed the rules after every Olympic Games, and they made some really good upgrades, in my opinion. Triple back somersaults and triple pikes have been highly valued, and you're going to see a lot more of them, which is exciting and which I love.
14.408. There's our first look, Tim, at the bonus system as well.
You see the bonus? That is a USA bonus to encourage the athletes at the beginning of the quad to try to do really tough gymnastics. And you see that 5.7. So that means he is in the hunt for a locked position for a world team.
Penn State's Josh Karnes now takes to the Pommel horse. Kind of reminds me of Fuzzy Bennis from Oklahoma, who we saw earlier on the parallel bars. He's got that same kind of body type and also uber talented as well.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, John, I watched this young man growing up, and the things he was capable of doing early on just blew me away. At Penn State, though, he has been really fragile, according to head coach there, Randy Jepson. Sometimes gets a little squirrely with the form, but that was a fabulous fight.
That was fantastic. He was actually roommates with Stephen Nedoroscik at the Olympic trials. Maybe he exchanged some notes with him, because that was solid.
Yes, and actually he's going to be moving down to Florida to train at Evo, where Stephen Nedoroscik and Brody Malone are training. He's going to do his continuation of gymnastics in Florida.
13.15. It's in the yellow for Cameron Nelson. Good job there. What do you think they did on that inverted cross, Tim?
Well, I think they gave it to him, but they took a 3/10 deduction for sure, which was probably generous because he did not stop at all. And you don't just have to stop, you have to stay there for 2 seconds.
Alex Natashi from Knoxville, Tennessee, actually came out of Gym Tech Academy, which is just down the road from me. Here he is on vault, tremendous vaulter, now competing for the University of Nebraska. You can see their head coach in the background there, Chuck Schmelka.
Nebraska has really improved their gymnastics as of late. Yurchenko-style vault. Great bounce off the table and triple twist. They are so few and far between, and that may be the best executed one I have ever seen, John.
That's saying something, Tim. Let's look at it again.
But look at the bounce he gets. He just like shot out of a cannon. Beautiful form in the air, 3 twists. A lot of gymnasts in the world can do 2.5. Look at him try to
He tried to sneak that foot back in. That's savvy.
I did see that red flag go up, though, so the judges saw it as they should. 1/10 deduction, but that was gorgeous. 9-4 execution, huge number.
Is he watching his vault over, or is he commemorating the moment? Josh Karnes with a 13.65, 8.45 execution. That's a good job right there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a pretty good score.
So Frederick Richard, and this is an interesting moment. We talked about him changing the uniform, Tim, and this is really where it's noticeable here on his second event, the Pommel horse.
And he did not get that deduction on floor exercise for the uniform, but I would be shocked if the judges don't take it here. You know, gymnastics is like every sport. There are traditions and there are also rules. And Fred knows that this uniform is probably not going to meet the rules, but he's willing to take that deduction. It'll be a 3/10 of a point deduction for each day overall, not on each apparatus.
Tremendous start right there.
Has really worked on trying to improve his basics on different events, and Pommel horse is one of them. Oh boy, a little bit tired, but a fantastic fight. The judges will take away 3/10 for that uniform, but I'd give it back to him just for the fight.
I mean, that was the best Pommel horse routine I have ever seen Frederick Richard do. That was absolutely tremendous. You said, oh boy, at the end. I mean, he handled it.
He did. You know, he was way off, in my opinion, right at the end. This circle looks a little funky to me. He's already falling down. His shoulders were in back, which you don't want, but he has got superhuman strength, and he's able to just rock it up to that handstand.
But do you give him a green? Do you give him a green, yellow, or red for the uniform, Tim?
Well, I don't make the rules. The International Gymnastics Federation does, and if he were to wear that at the World Championships in Jakarta in October, he would get a 0.3 of a point deduction, I would say.
He was third all around at the 2020-25 Winter Cup. Taylor Christopulos out of Nebraska. Here's a look at his vault moments ago.
And I didn't see this when it happened, so I'm looking at it with fresh eyes. He can really get a good bounce off this table. Sometimes it just really works almost like magic for him here. And landing can be spectacular as well. That was good. Not as great as I've seen him do, but a very strong vault for him.
13-9 for Taylor. I watched him do that vault over and over at the Big Ten Championships, and he seems like he's stuck it all the time. Talked to his coach, Chuck Schmelke from Nebraska, said he's absolutely going to train for 2028. He's going to stay in Lincoln in hopes of making that Olympic dream come true. First after the first rotation is Asher Hong here on another tremendous event for him, the parallel bars.
He's actually doing an easier routine than he's capable of. I spoke with his coach, Tom Galimi from Stanford, right before the competition. He said they just really want to do a well-executed routine and not have a lot of stress, so he can just really focus on showing everything off. Asher says his goal, big dismount, full twisting, double somersault. That is so hard and very highly rated at this point in time. And Asher, who is a trickster, who can do just about anything. I asked Tom Galimi, his coach, I said, is that easy for him? And he goes, no, it's not. He has to really work at it, and it's hard.
He moves quick, but I don't think I've ever seen him move quicker than he went back to the bars to help his teammates set him. Just a tremendous athlete.
Traveling back into the middle. And this has highly upgraded difficulty-wise. Double back somersault with a full twist. You saw just a handful of those dismounts in the world prior to this code change. It is highly rewarded, so you'll see a lot more of it.
Go ahead, Tim.
And you
I see you
that
pointing to it.
0.3 of a point deduction, penalties. That's a neutral deduction, and that's a no-brainer. If the judges hadn't done that, I'd have been talking to them afterwards saying, you think it's possible that they won't take it at the World Championships? Not with that uniform. I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm just saying it doesn't meet the rules and the criteria that the uniform says it has to.
I'm giving it a green arrow. I don't care what you say, Tim. Let's go over to high bar. Fuzzy Bennis, outstanding here.
And hopefully we see, a better routine than we have seen thus far on high bar. Fuzzy does that same release. We saw Danila miss a couple of times. That's excellent. It's called a pagan. Here we go. Woo! Another one right here in the tucked position.
Just floats at the end of that.
Yeah, it's amazing. So many athletes are doing that skill we saw at the top. Double front over the bar. Oh boy, and that was way short of a handstand. His dismount. Triple back somersault in the tucked position. I love it. I love seeing triples again. They weren't getting rewarded in the last code enough.
Fuzzy Bennis, a 13.655. Did get that bonus.
And the way they get the bonus is it's a very complicated thing. If you want to see complicated, ask them how to evaluate men's gymnastics. You need a PhD.
There's a chart for it sitting on our table right now that I suggested we put on air, and Tim looked at me like I was crazy. 14-1. For Asher Hong, tremendous.
Mission accomplished for
Yeah.
that 8.7 execution score.
Very hard to get a high 8 on the execution score, as we see Kelton Christensen, also from Oklahoma, mount the high bar.
Got a nice release right here. Did this beautiful in warm-ups. Called a Winkler Salto, named after a West German athlete. I actually saw him do it, I think, the first time in competition. We had a dual meet with the Germans.
Do they have film of that, Tim, somewhere?
Way back when it was all in black and white, John.
Is that high 8 film back then?
There we go, nicely done. Another skill that we'll start seeing, but you see the knees bend. That skill, that release called a Ginger. They upgraded the difficulty value on that too. Nicely done, double twisting, double somersault, couple little shimmies on the landing.
Mark Williams, the head coach at the Oklahoma Sooner School, 36 years. 36 years at the helm. Done a tremendous job there. Says he's still got a few more years in him. He said, I'm still young, John. I said, by what scale, Mark? No, there's Mark Williams' right hand of your screen. Asher Hong is rolling 2 events in. Should maintain that top spot. Now let's take a look at the Prevision memorable moment. And who could forget Steven Nedoroscik, not just one of the best moments in gymnastics at the Olympics, one of the best Olympic moments, period. Came down to his routine at the end, and he got it done and got Team USA on that medal podium. And that was the Prevision memorable moment. And earlier, Brittany caught up with Steven Nedoroscik.
Steven, it is hard to believe it's been a year since the world was introduced and fell in love with Pommel horse guy. How has life changed since that experience?
I mean, life has changed a lot. A lot more people know who I am, and a lot more people know what men's gymnastics is, and Pommel horse, surprisingly. But it has been a very exciting year.
All good things, and you were part of Dancing with the Stars. Well done, made it to the finale. How did that experience in training and dance help your gymnastics?
I mean, honestly, it was just great to be a beginner at something again, and being a beginner at dance for someone who's never danced was really hard. So it's kind of cool just to take a step back and use my sort of athletic mindset in something else, and I think it will help me in gymnastics.
Any more dancing in the future?
If Riley needs someone to dance with.
There we go. He's not saying no, not closing the door. Okay, when it comes to this weekend, you had said that you were a little surprised how quickly, in a matter of 3 months training time, your body, your skills came back. So where do your expectations lie?
I mean, I'm a very realistic guy. This was a very quick comeback, and 3 months is not a long time. I've gotten a lot of my skills back, and I'm feeling really good. So my expectations are just to be here, exist, have fun, compete with pride, and whatever comes out of that, I'll be happy with.
It's great to see you back. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
What a fun personality. We saw this at the games, Tim. The visualization. He's back at it.
Non-stop.
You won the bronze medal at the Olympics. Why aren't you the Pommel horse guy?
I know, what the heck happened? You know, his life has changed, and so has his bank account, I would imagine.
I imagine it probably has. He needs to buy us dinner, I think. Getting ready to go. Steven Nedoroscik will be competing Pommel horse in the next rotation. We need the countdown clock. We had it in Paris. We need the Steven Nedoroscik countdown clock. But really, you talk about a life change. From the moment he landed that Pommel horse dismount in that team final, he went viral. He didn't know he was going viral until a couple hours later. He said, what the heck? We'll see if he can match that magic here at the National Championships. We're going to find out in the next rotation for Steven Nedoroscik. Monday, American Ninja Warrior is back. This season is kicking off in Vegas. They'll risk it all to win big. American Ninja Warrior Monday on NBC and Peacock. After 2 rotations here in New Orleans, Asher Hong still in that top spot, was there after 1 rotation. He's joined in the top 3 by Colt Walker, his fellow Stanford Cardinal, and Preston Ngai holding that number 3 spot after 4 rotations to go. I am John Roethlisberger, again joined by Olympic champion Tim Daggett. Also, Brittany Urton, our reporter, is joining us for this 6 rotation extravaganza, 2 rotations in again. This rotation will have one of the biggest faces and names in men's gymnastics, Stephen Nedoroscik on the pommel horse. And Tim, you and I were there every step of the way on his journey to stardom. And it started, and we asked him about this, and he was very contrite about how the stars had to align, how the statistical impossibility of Stephen Nedoroscik becoming who he is today. And if we look back at the U.S. championships and the trials, and he even said this, a lot of guys were making mistakes on pommel horse, which made his pommel horse routine more valuable. Probably wasn't going to be just straight up selected for that team. He made it on the automatic criteria. So there he gets on the team. Then he goes to the Olympic Games. And this is where it gets interesting because the team from the United States did terrible in the qualifications. So they had to start on rings. They were 5th place, meant they had to start on rings. If they finished in the top 4, they would have started on pommel horse, something they absolutely should have done, even if they had a mediocre competition. Instead, they had to end on pommel horse, which meant all the drama was going to come down to Stephen Nedoroscik. If they start on horse, Tim, he goes up, does his routine, it's over, and the Stephen Nedoroscik story might never come to life. But the fact that we watched him sit there and wait and visualize his routine for 2 hours, and our crew from NBC put up the countdown clock, the Stephen Nedoroscik countdown clock. He sets those glasses down and literally steps out of the phone booth and becomes an American hero when he hits that horse routine. It was is ridiculous.
It was unbelievable. I remember watching it all unfold, and literally I said to myself, this is a movie. This is an absolute movie script that is unthinkable. If somebody dreamt it up, people would have given them a lot of guff about it, saying it's so unrealistic, could never happen. But it did, and I'll tell you what, he made it happen as well.
I love it. And there you go. Who would have thought little kids in the stands would be holding up signs for a pommel horse specialist? But they are, and it's an amazing thing. And he is really, he's carried that torch well. He's been a great representative for men's gymnastics. We'll see him here shortly, but in the meantime, back to Josh Karnes, the Penn State Nittany Lion. 5th place after the 2nd rotation. Here he is on rings.
Has had, like I said, some injuries that have really hurt his progression quite a bit. Doesn't have the big strength parts that you really need. And here we're going to see something that is brand new also. He stuck that dismount, and the FIG, the new rules actually give you a 1/10 of a point in addition if you stick, which is unbelievable. I didn't think the FIG would ever do that.
That's always kind of been a U.S. rule to incentivize working those landings, but to move to the FIG is surprising.
Double twisting, double somersault. You can do this skill in either the laid out or pike position, but there is what you like to see. Gymnastics 101, baby. Fly high and stick the landing.
Check your bingo cards, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it. And I also think you have actually approved of 2 FIG rule changes in one broadcast, which
I have.
I'm a little concerned for your health. You've never done that before.
I've got a few suggestions for them as well.
A lot more suggestions than approvals, I would imagine.
Coming up on ball for Illinois, Preston Ngai.
Now we probably won't see the stick bonus show up in the graphic, from what I've been told, but I mean, it's so important. It's the final thing of the routine, and and it doesn't right there, but he just doesn't have you see that 4.0 difficulty score. He needs the super strong strength elements, and he just can't do them without losing more than he gets for doing them.
So right from Josh Karnes to Frederick Richard. Outstanding on the pommel horse, did well as also on the floor exercise. Here is his 3rd event.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Frederick, I'm sure, is not very happy with being in 9th place after having 2 pretty good routines.
Now on parallel bars for Minnesota,
2 point. 6'5'7" behind Asher Hong at this point. Nice handstand position. Fred has been busy though. He's went to China, trained with the Chinese national team for 2 weeks, then did it in Japan. Also traveled to Africa, broke the world record, the Guinness World Record for backflips. Used it as a fundraiser for the Uganda Gymnastics Association, $60,000 raised.
And he's a great personality for men's gymnastics. Got that just electric smile and really trying to put men's gymnastics more in the forefront of American sports. Here is Cameron Nelson. We saw him on the still rings do the triple back. No triple backs here, but he can fly in this event, Tim.
Absolutely, huge power. I would say he's the second best vaulter in the competition. Very difficult vault, done extremely well.
Who's the best vaulter in the competition, Tim?
Asher Hong.
But who got beat at the NCAA championships by Cameron Nelson on the vault?
That is right.
Cameron Nelson beat him. And there is his score, nicely done. Brody Malone coming off, I'm just gonna say, catastrophic high bar.
Yeah,
first rotation.
I don't ever recall seeing anything. I mean, it was bad at the Olympics in qualification. It was shocking there, but it was much worse here today. He's always prided himself on not letting it get to him mentally, and so far, this has been really good on an event that he is way better than he should be. He has really worked on his development. The basics are so much better. Flies up to that handstand, kerpow! That's the Brody Malone that we know. So happy for him there.
That was one of the better routines. If he had executed that high bar routine the way he executed his horse routine, he'd be already punching his ticket to the World Championships. 13-1 for Frederick on rings. Now Fuzzy Bennis on the floor, exercise 6 after the second rotation.
Comes from a gymnastics family. Both his parents were gymnasts. His dad was on a national championship team at Penn State. Just so calm. So many athletes would have taken a quick little hop or small step on that. Not been patient like he is there. Triple twist, just a small little step that might have even been small enough to be only 1/10 of a point. If it's a foot or less, the step, it's a 10th. More than that, 3/10.
We talk about Team USA trying to win gold in LA, and talking to some of the athletes even and looking at the team, it seems like there's maybe 10 or 12 guys that have that talent to maybe lift that team to medal podium, but they've got to stay healthy, and not just healthy for a competition. For 3 years, if you're trying to catch the best in the world, you've got to train consistently over time, and I feel like Fuzzy fits into that group of athletes that could help Team USA.
Oh my goodness, that was an absolutely spectacular routine. I think just 2 little hops in the entire exercise. That one was only a 10th of a point too. Boy, he is such a gamer. You cannot teach the level of game that he has got. It just is not teachable.
And that's the word Mark Williams used when I talked to him today. He said he is a gamer, and absolutely demonstrated there. 14.402 for Brody Malone on what? Pommel horse?
Wow, that is gigantic number for him. Why does he have honey in his bag? The gymnasts use it on parallel bars, and sometimes they feel like they need a little bit of a jolt.
I mean, that's a sponsor opportunity right there if I've ever seen one.
I'm happy for Brody. You know, it's I'm sure he was shocked with high bar, but You know, you said that might be the best pommel horse routine. That was the best pommel horse routine I have ever seen Brody Malone do in a competition. And that right there, an 8.95 execution score and a 14.05, that is ginormous.
Look at him, what a teammate, and he really is. I mean, he is the captain for Team USA. He jumps right to getting Steven Nedoroscik loosened up. Now over to high bar. This is honestly, if I had to circle a routine, I was excited to see, Tim. It's this one, Asher Hong, and some of his upgrades here. I was blown away. I didn't know he was capable of doing some of the skills I saw him warm up today.
And he not just doing them. That's what's different about Asher on high bar now. He's doing skills well. First one right here. It's called a Casina. Very nicely done. Caught late, though.
That was a savvy catch.
This is beautiful, though. Watch this. Double pike. Oh, just like butter, baby. Asher historically has really struggled on this event, and he struggled right there. At least 3/10 of a point. Got to go to a handstand. That one much better. Just the dismount. Double, laid out, small little hop. Asher, you're a high bar guy now.
Brody's a pommel horse guy. Asher's a high bar guy. Cats and dogs are living together. What next?
Boy, he looks great. He really does. He looks confident. You know, he said a lot of guys, you know, they went on tour with Simone afterwards. He said, no, I went right back to Stanford. Started going to school, helping his little brother who was an incoming freshman. Look at this, though. Double flip over the bar, laid out position. A little bit of a pike, actually, which is just so gorgeous.
Well, you took the words right out of my mouth, Tim, as we look at his dismount one more time here.
Double twisting, double somersault, just a little bit shy on rotation, just a little. And that right there. Judges, did you see that? That is the definition of a 1/10 hop.
They took 3, Tim.
Do not take 3.
Well, you took the words out of my mouth. Going back to Stanford and starting his training right away and getting back in that rhythm, I think is a huge advantage in year one.
You just said make those weaknesses your strengths, and you absolutely did that right there.
Nicely done. Yeah, that consistent training, I feel like, making an advantage for him here 1 year out of the Olympics. This guy's not exactly had consistent training since the Olympics. Dancing with the Stars, the Dancing with the Stars tour. Had about 3 months of training to get ready for this pommel horse routine right here. Wasn't even sure if he was going to go for USA Championships, but decided to give it a shot, and he's not holding back, Tim.
No, he's not, and he's actually, you know, he wants to go to the Worlds. And for him to do that, to earn an automatic locked spot like he earned to compete in the Paris Olympic Games, he needs to have a difficulty score of a 6.2, which is what he is planning on doing. And he needs to win the combined 2-day total. He's absolutely capable of doing that.
Has not been very consistent, however, in training as we watched him coming into this competition, but he's swinging for the fences.
And he's doing a really difficult element. It's called a busanari. He'll be doing flares, circles with his legs apart, fly up to a handstand, and then have to come right back down into flares, and it is very tricky. Beautiful body line. Here it is, right here, back down, gorgeous.
Wow.
Big skill right here. That was excellent on that one pommel. Oh boy, it's gonna be very interesting. I'm sure he's a little confused now because I am. He did not do what he was supposed to do. Nice routine, but that kind of improvisation is going to lower his D-score significantly.
I didn't know what to do there.
Now he has to get that 6.2 difficulty score in one of the 2 days, and win the combined total.
And I was like,
Not going to get it today, though.
Do I spindle? I don't know how to spindle.
Great to see the pommel horse guy back doing what he loves to do and always has a smile on his face. Back still in the third rotation, Colt Walker, second place after the second rotation, now moves to the high bar. Trying to keep pace with his teammate, Asher Hong, who was tremendous on this event. High bar's a lot of fun to do until there's a lot of pressure. And you're trying to chase down a national championship.
Well, you know, everybody talks about how challenging the releases are. It's really not the release, it's the grasping that's a little bit tricky at times. And he's got to do a lot of that in this routine. But I'm really pleased with the way he looks. Just very prepared, shy of the handstand on that. Here we go. Speed up for this Kovacs maneuver. That's a Coleman double back with a full twist. Nicely done. Just to dismount. Oh boy, 1/10 of a point hop right there. Just about as good as he can do. He had one handstand that was a little bit shy, but overall, that should get a very good score for him. Not going to be that high of a score because the difficulty isn't that high.
A couple of Stanford Cardinals going back and forth, vying for that top spot. And moments ago, it was another Stanford Cardinal, someone who's really taken a step up in the world of men's gymnastics this season is Taylor Burkhart.
And I was so disappointed. I thought he would contend in the all-around, but has been dealing with a back injury. But watch this mount right here. Actually, did not do it. He was supposed to do a Winkler salto. That's a Lukin. Tkachev with a full twist. Oh boy, that was gorgeous. Really good flight. These guys aren't supposed to change their routines, John, without telling me. Oh, there it is, right there. There's a couple of guys that start off with it. He does it in the middle of the routine. That was gorgeous. Triple pike.
Unreal.
Awesome, baby. Oh, it's so exciting. I just absolutely love seeing that.
Had a great season with the Stanford Cardinal. Couldn't quite get that team title you mentioned earlier, Tim, but that's got to feel good. A 14.505 for Taylor Burkhart. Colt Walker a 13.5. And Steven Nedoroscik didn't quite do the routine that he was hoping for, but a 14.2. The shocking part of that, 5.1 in difficulty. Well, whatever the scent of choice that he has today, Asher Hong picked a good one because 3 rotations in, it smells like a national championship. Long way to go, but after 3, it's all Asher Hong. September 16th in LA, CNBC teams up with 2-time NBA champion Kevin Durant and Boardroom for Game Plan. Join this high-powered event at cnbcevents.com/gameplan. Early in the evening in New Orleans, the energy always high in the Big Easy. The gymnastics world has been put on its head, Tim. Brody Malone beat Steven Nedoroscik on pommel horse. Asher Hong beat Brody Malone on high bar. But now here comes Brody to one of his better events, the still ring.
And you know, I don't know if you remember, John, but one of the days before the Olympics started, there were some photos circulating of the U.S. men's team, and they were in a lineup position, and Brody had a mask on. And everybody was like, what the heck is going on? And You know, they didn't respond to any queries, but I have learned that Brody, right prior to the Olympic Games, contracted hand, foot, and mouth disease. And so he was feeling better, but not 100%, and the mask was more protection for the rest of his teammates. Pretty good inverted cross, maybe a smidge too short of a hold, and really good fight for that handstand position, was way under on it. This is a new dismount for Brody. Woo! Double-double in a stretched position.
Great fight. Strength parts early look good. That new inverted cross, something he's trying to add into that routine.
Up next on high bar for Nebraska,
We'll get Brody's score in a moment. Our first look at Donnell Whittenburg. Excited to see him do his thing. Brittany caught up. For more on Donnell, actually, Brittany.
He's a mainstay of men's gymnastics, been for over a decade, 5-time world team member. This is actually his 11th U.S. championships that he's competing in, twice an alternate, but never made an Olympic team. And we spoke to him earlier. He said that getting so close is what still fuels him. And when we spoke to him, without hesitation, he said, yes, LA 28. He acknowledges his age. He does turn 31 in a couple of weeks, but his mother said to him before, if you are healthy, you should do this for as long as you can. And that really stuck with him. I mean, is he not the epitome of perseverance? Not even a torn Achilles last fall can keep him down. I think he made the point because he said he is the only Don Whittenburg, so he's got to keep coming back. And Tim, you can speak further to this because he had said that with this new code, it could really benefit him.
Yeah, absolutely. If the rules had not changed as substantially as they had, and they had not favored Donnell Whittenburg the way they so do, I don't think he would have even considered coming back. But his routines and the gymnastics that he has done throughout his career, it is so perfect for the new code, and we'll see one of them at the very end. He'll do a triple pike somersault, which is actually worth 9/10 of a point, and he gets the dismount requirement as well. Only 8 skills now. It used to be 10 that you had to perform. So he says this routine is one of the easiest he's done. But look at this, watch, he's just gonna push up from that Maltese to a planche. People, that's impossible. He didn't just do that. There's an invisible wire somewhere, John.
There's gotta be.
Really strong, has always been. But this whole routine is based around what he does at the very end. Another planche and a Maltese. Great position, little bit off on that, and this is a little scary right here because you don't want to be off before a triple pike on rings. Here we go. Oh, baby, and he holds on to it. And this is one of those routines that can also lock in a spot for the World Championships. You need a 5.9 difficulty score, and you have to win with the combined total from 2 days of competition. That's the routine he was planning on doing, so I think he's going to get that 5.9.
Scheduled to do a 6.0 from what we've been told. And none of his mistakes, obviously he had a mistake in the handstand and a mistake on the landing, but that doesn't take away from the difficulty part of the score. It shouldn't.
No,
it will take away from the execution part of the score.
Absolutely. Execution starts from a 10.0 and they deduct.
Brody Malone at 14.058. Got some of that bonus. Nicely done for Malone. Tough start on high bar, but 2 events, pommel horse and rings, done well. Frederick Richard trying to make up some ground, only 11th place after that 3rd rotation. Here he is on vault.
And this is an event where Frederick really said he needs to improve. He needs to have a contemporary vault. Nicely done. It's a triple, 2.5 twist, Kasamatsu.
Second to last gymnast. There's a 14.05, nicely done. Second to last gymnast to go at the NCAA championships earlier this year. Stuck that vault. His coach Jordan Garenstrom said when he stuck that vault, he said, "We're winning." He never sticks that vault.
You see that 4.8 though, John? At the last Olympic Games, the last code, that vault was worth a 5.2. Everything went down 0.4 of a point on vaulting.
Come on now.
There's Donnell's score.
And that is
Get big.
not enough. That 5.8 difficulty score is not enough to lock him in.
Let's go.
I'm going over the routine in my head, John, and I'm trying to figure out how they could have taken something away, and I don't know.
We're going to have to do a little inquiry after the competition.
My guess is they're going to inquire.
Asher Hong
Like
now, he
Caesar.
is your leader after 3 rotations. Here he is on floor exercise.
Nicely done. He can really do this well. Double twisting double. Will be coming up in the next pass. Actually, after this side pass, this is a great rule change also. The FIG said you can no longer go back and forth 3 times, which is good. This is hard to do in your 4th pass, wouldn't you say, John?
That was too hard to do in the first pass back when I did gymnastics.
Nicely done. Have to be so low on that press. It's actually called a Japanese handstand. And here is that new requirement, a scale. You'll still have to show some artistic component, but it doesn't have to be a scale after this competition. Oh, yikes! What do you say, John? Like a toothpick and a club sandwich, I think. Something, or a knife and soft cheese. Holy moly.
All of the above. He is in a zone unlike anyone else in the competition today. He is just sharp.
That was probably the most beautiful dismount on floor I think I've ever seen. A double twisting, double somersault, and this is like cake. This is so easy for him. Look at the height. 2 flips, 2 twists, and kerpow! No movement. You get an extra 1/10 of a point bonus for that as well.
Certainly a long way to go yet for the all-around title, Tim, but man, a lot's going to have to go wrong for Asher Hong to be derailed.
Got that title in 2023.
Josh Karnes has had a steady competition, moves over to vault.
He's capable of doing a triple twist. Don't think he's going to do it here today, but he will take that.
That was moments ago, and well done, 14.0. There's the stick bonus that you mentioned, Tim. And Asher Hong, a 14.808. A difficulty of a 4.7. The automatic difficulty to qualify to Worlds is a 6.1, so 4.10's off, but not that far off either. Seems like he might get there at some point.
For Nebraska will be Ethan Cox.
Taylor Burkhart, tremendous high bar routine. Now moves over to floor exercise.
Now on floor for Stanford, Taylor.
It's always so nice to have a big routine like Taylor had. I think it's the highest score of anybody thus far in the competition on high bar.
Michael Sider in capital on ring.
Tremendous on floor exercise too. Came off of the World Cup in Turkey earlier this year where he won the title at that event.
Oh, that was great. So hard to stick that double front. Really impossible to see the ground on that. If you were twisting on a forward landing, you can kind of peek over your shoulder, but not on that. Great flares there. His coach Tom Galini said the flares that he does on pommel horse are the reason they scratched that event. Has a bit of a back problem. In training, always wearing a brace. Trying to limit the pressure on it. Another double-double at the end. A great routine for Taylor. I'm happy for this young man. I have for a long time thought that he would break through at the top level, but always seemed to just kind of get a little bit funky, a little nervous.
You're trying to be perfect and make the stick. You got to go big and just drop into it. Everything else is awesome.
Coach Tom Galimi there.
And Tom did tell me before the meet, he said that's the one thing they've really worked on is just settling down and slowing down and working on that execution and not being in such a rush to get through his routines. Somebody who's surprised the field a little bit here today is Preston Ngai from the University of Illinois, third after 3 rotations.
Yeah, he is having a day. Comes from a gymnastics family. His brother Brandon was a pommel horse champion for the NCAA, is now a judge. Stutz to 1 bar. They've made a bunch of rule changes on parallel bars as well. Oh boy. Little bit under on that Stutz. He held on that routine. Not going to be a great score, and it isn't. You see the red arrow right there. Doesn't have a lot of difficulty and a little bit sloppy.
Preston finished 4th all around at the recent NCAA championships. Taylor Burkhart, a 14.505. Nicely done for him on floor exercise. And now here's Junei Wei. First time we've gotten to see him today, but he is currently sitting in the top 5 in the all-around.
And John, he is phenomenal on this event. So powerful. Oh boy, a little bit too much power. That 3/10 step back and 1/10 for being out of bounds. This is a young man that has a very bright future in men's gymnastics. Also a gymnastics family. His dad, a 2000 Olympian for Team Japan. Longtime coach. One of the most demanding and strict coaches out there, from what I've heard. 2.5 twist to a laid out full. Beautiful. Really powerful athlete. Just got to get the landing. Double layout. Oh boy. Good fight on that landing. Should be a good score. He can be better on some of the landings, but that's not going to hurt him.
Nicely done from Junei Wei. See if that keeps him in the top 5 as we roll through this 4th rotation here in New Orleans. Sattva presents the dream routine, and the committee has come back to him, and we've decided it's Taylor Burkhart on high bar.
Look at that release. Full twisting, laid out front somersault. Gorgeous work. But here is the exclamation mark. Triple bike somersault, baby!
And he loved it, in case you didn't notice. That was a look at the Sattva dream routine. Taylor Burkhart on high bar. By the way, almost a point higher than any other gymnast on high bar so far in today's competition. That's big. Really one of the best gymnasts, certainly one of the best gymnasts in the country on the still rings the last few years has been Alex Diab. Even really one of the best in the world. Was an alternate for the 2020 Olympic team. This was moments ago.
And if you can't tell, Alex is very strong. This is so difficult. All of the strength he does. Beautiful inverted cross. And that right there, incredible. Lowering down, doing a bounce back to that Maltese right there. Oh. Alex is battling a knee injury that just is not getting better. His coach, Psych Caesar, says they're going to have to do something about it. They're going to have to go in and make some kind of a repair. Because of that, he will not do the required difficulty on the dismount. Right here, just a double laid out somersault, but a stick.
If you're going to do an easier dismount, you got to stick the landing. Absolutely did that there. 5-0 difficulty certainly could bring that up with a harder dismount of 13.75 for Alex Diab. Thumbs up from Alex Diab, but it has certainly been all about Asher Hong so far through 4 rotations here at the National Championships. 2 more to go for that young man. Can he hold on to the top spot? Asher Hong with that commanding lead over Junei Wei in the second spot, who we saw on the floor exercise. 2.159, Tim. You're quickly to point out, though, he's going to Pommel horse night. We'll see if he can hold on. That is not his greatest event, but he's looked good so far. Steven Nedoroscik just enjoying the walk-off. Back for the 5th rotation. Asher Hong is your leader. He's got to go to Pommel horse. Not a great event for him, Tim, as you mentioned while we were on break. However, high bar wasn't great either, and he knocked it out of the park. Could he do the same thing there? We will find out. Steven Nedoroscik is living in his own world, and I'd love to visit sometime.
If you didn't know Steven as well as you and I do, some folks would have thought, oh, he definitely changed with all this stardom. No, not one single iota.
I think that was the vision of Steven with Brody's arms. But this guy, we talked about all the things that had to align for Steven to be who he is today. This is a piece of that puzzle, Tim. Patrick Hoops was at the trials, and he almost won that individual spot over Steven Nedoroscik. Came down to a Pommel horse dismount, basically. It could have been this guy that was on that team. Do we have a little budding rivalry, would you say? Steven Nedoroscik and Patty Hoops on Pommel horse.
Yeah, it's huge. You know, I mean, I know that they're both very friendly with each other, but, you know, you can be friends and want to beat the guy. And he certainly wants to do that. He wants to go to Worlds, and he wants to have a shot, because if he makes it to Worlds, this guy has a shot of winning a medal, maybe even a gold, because he's great, as you are about to see. Nice extension, really tough, all on one pommel. Oh, so hard. Tremendous rhythm. Making it look so easy. It's not, folks. Got to get the handstand fly up there. That was spectacular. Wow. If he doesn't win today, I'd be shocked. And I would say that is going to be enough difficulty as well. He needs a 6.2 to be eligible for a locked spot at the Olympics. Steven Nedoroscik, if he makes it to the second day of competition, has a shot to get that. But he would also have to win. And this number is going to be far surpass what Steven got earlier today.
That was tremendous. Can't do it better. Just graduated from the Air Force Academy. It's actually Lieutenant Patrick Hoops.
I know.
If you didn't know. Incredible young man, and you talk about the rivalry, him and Steven Nedoroscik. They might be friends, but
was crazy stuff.
You know, people often say to me, how can these guys be so calm and cool and so friendly to one another? Gymnastics, there's no defense. It really lends itself to being a little bit closer with your competitors. You can't go up and tackle you, John, on the pommel horse.
As much as you would like to.
I would.
The thing is, only one pommel horse man, if one pommel horseman makes the 28 Olympic team, it's not going to be two. So they might be friends, but only one of them at most will go on to that Olympic Games. Here's Fuzzy Bennis again on the still rings now.
It's a big deal for him. He's unveiling the cross. First time ever. Oh, boy. Talked to his coach, Mark Williams. He said that, yeah, he's busting it out.
Yeah, his words to me were, he showed me that he could stop
Yeah.
on the cross, and that was good enough, apparently.
Well, he definitely stopped. He did not stop for the full 2 seconds, so he'll get a 3/10 deduction for that, but it's a step in the right direction. He's always struggled with the static strength skills. But he doesn't struggle in the air. Double-double, step backwards. Nice job.
Yeah, that was actually, the judges hit him hard on the execution, but I thought it was a pretty clean routine, 12.35. And here it is, 6-0 difficulty. Tim, you thought it was going to be a 6-2. I talked to his coach before the meet, and there's a little question mark on his dismount. They think it should be a higher value, which would give him the 6-2. They're having some inquiries with the FIG. That could get him to that number, but not giving it to him today.
Yeah, I don't quite get that then, John, to be perfectly honest.
Here's Kai Uemura now on the pommel horse.
Had a very tremendous junior career. Won a couple of all-arounds at the national championships. In training and in warm-ups today, things looked a little harder than I remember them looking for him, and it struggled to the handstand, and that'll cost him quite a bit because he did not do a difficult enough dismount. Was supposed to go up to that handstand and then do a turn, a pirouette. Was kind of running out of gas, it looked like. And you see his hips are just a little bit closed and a little bit close. Look at him fighting right there, the bent elbow as well, and passed not vertically through that handstand. So I don't think they'll take it, but if the judges wanted to be very unkind, they could say that that really doesn't fulfill a requirement.
They've been known to do that, be unkind, that is, Tim. And the other thing you don't want to do is, on pommel horses, follow Patrick Hoops.
Yes.
Because you have basically the standard and how it's supposed to look, and then everybody else. So tough draw for Kai as well.
Yeah, I'm still surprised at the score that they started Patrick Hoops at.
Asher Hong, your leader after the fourth rotation. Great strides on high bar, which was a weak event for him. Looked tremendous there. Can he show a similar progress here on pommel horse? Going to need to if he wants to maintain that big lead. Right now it's over 2 points for Asher Hong. There's Kai Uemura's 12.35 for his effort.
So one of the things with Asher is he's capable of doing a very hard routine, but the judges' panels in the last quadrennium, so leading up to Paris, the panel that they had, they were just brutal, and he bore a lot of the brunt of that. It's a new panel now. Sometimes they say he's not extended enough on his circles, not enough clearance, his hips away from the pommel and the pommel horse as well. Little bit tight, as you can see here. Great fight, got to fly up to that handstand, and does. Solid routine for Asher Hong. Yeah, he can do things a little bit cleaner, a little bit more dynamic, But that is a great routine. 5 strong sets, 1 to go for Asher Hong.
I tell you what, every time we wonder what's going to happen with Asher, he delivers another great effort for him.
I am.
Got a fist bump from Coach Tom Galimi for that Pommel horse routine.
You got to show just effortless fly up to that handstand, and if that doesn't meet that criteria, I don't know what does. That was great. You're going to see an execution score, though, that is, my guess, it's going to be a little bit harsh.
What do you think, Tim?
Probably a very low 8.
I think that's a win for Asher. You get in the 8s.
No, absolutely.
You get in the 8s. It's when he gets in those 7s that really it starts to hurt him.
I wouldn't be shocked. You know, if it was the same panel as in the last quad, I would say that it would have been in the 7s.
On camera. Today I'm going to be performing
13.4, 8-2 execution.
Pretty
Tim
good.
Said low 8s, and it was.
red lights on too.
Moving over to the parallel bars, Frederick Richard. We said at the beginning of the show, Tim, we're looking forward to the contest between Frederick Richard and Asher Hong for that all-around title, but Frederick Richard has really been chasing. He's in that chase group all day today, currently in 7th, moved up a little bit, but behind Asher Hong, 3.7 points, more than 3.7 points behind Asher. Is it possible? Can he even catch him at this point? I know we have a whole day of competition left, but that is a mountain to climb.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? You got to look at realities of life. And, you know, he had a great Olympic Games, Frederick did. And he wants to do a lot of things in his life outside of just gymnastics, but he really wants to promote the sport. He did a lot of traveling. Like I said, 2 weeks in China, 2 weeks in Japan, broke the world record for most backflips ever done. Traveled to Uganda, was on tour.
That's a lot to handle. That's
Absolutely.
a lot to juggle.
And Asher Hong went back to Stanford and worked out, you know? And I'm not saying that what Fred did was wrong, but I'm sure in his brain, he knew that he was not as prepared as he needed to be to contest for the all-around title. But what he's got to do, because it is definitely in the plan to go to Worlds, without a doubt, he's got to find a way to make that world team. He doesn't have an event that puts him in there automatically, doesn't have the difficulty on the different events. His dismount double front. Oh boy, and that was very under-rotated. That's gonna hurt.
It was a good routine up until that point, and just looking for that moment maybe for Frederick that he can put an exclamation point on something and build on it. And I thought it might have been right there, but that dismount kind of took the wind out of the sail.
Nice transition from end to middle. It's called the Tippelt, named after a great East German gymnast, Sven Tippelt. Double front, hop, step, step, and shimmy. More than a point on that dismount for sure.
Waiting for Frederick's score. He's just got high bar left. A great event for him that won't make that automatic qualifying to the World Championships, but still, if he hits it well enough, could at least get the interest. Here is Junei Wei. He was 2nd place after that 4th rotation. This is a challenge for him, though, Pommel horse.
Yeah, absolutely. It's his weakest event without a doubt. Little bit of form and not great amplitude. His hips should be higher above the pommel. His body should be straighter, and you can't do that. Whenever you come off a piece of equipment, it is a full point off, and I don't know if he completed that element. You have to get credit for a skill, you have to complete the element and show that you can go into a circle after it. And I don't think they would give him that.
Well, if it comes down to whether they're going to give him the benefit of the doubt, judges rarely seem to do that.
Yes.
If you open the door, they're going to take it.
Just doesn't have the extension. Oh my goodness. And that right there, that's the easiest skill of his routine. Slow down. Someone's got to get up there, and you don't run back to the chalk and jump right back up again. You get a full 30 seconds, and you should take them to get yourself composed and a little rested. Beautiful dismount, but 2 points in falls and gonna lose some difficulty. Ouch. Yes, that's really a shame for him. Gonna obviously drop him quite a bit.
Do not see scores in the 10s much these days. Unfortunately for June, Frederick Richard a 12.75, so they really hammered him on that dismount, Tim. Colt Walker's having himself a day, 3rd place after the 4th rotation. Here he is on Pommel horse moments ago.
He got mad at me last year at Nationals because I said after day 1, I said, you know, he has been struggling all week in training. And he said, what are you talking about? Pommel horse is like my best event now. And I said, well, you're pretty good on high bars. You're really good on parallel bars. And you've gotten a lot better on horse. And he truly has, as you can see in this exercise, right up to the handstand.
That one was for you, Tim.
That absolutely was. Credit.
13.2. That's a good score for Colt Walker on Pommel horse, looking to stay in the top 3. So moving on to the final event will be Asher Hong. He will be in the lead. Can he hold that lead heading into day 2? Josh Karnes, after the 5th rotation, he is sitting in 4th place, and it's largely because of this parallel bar routine right here, moving him up from that 6th spot. This was earlier.
Yeah, it's historically a very good event for Josh. So glad to see him finally putting it all together and stringing together enough time without another injury on top of another injury, which has been the case for him. Nice flight on that. It's really a strong thing when you can do an element and you can do it much better than everybody else. It just shows the judge the mastery. Double front, very strong routine for Josh.
Putting himself in that top 5, 4th place with that 13.55 for that parallel bar routine. And from one Penn State Nittany Lion to another, Stephen Nedoroscik is hanging out with Brittany. Brittany, what do you got?
John, thank you so much. The smile does not leave his face. Okay, before we get to your routine and your reaction after, what is it like for you to be back in this elite competitive environment?
I mean, it's just amazing to be back here. I literally thought it was impossible for me to be back on this stage this quickly, but I've done it. I did a routine, and I'm happy with it.
You said you wanted to be here and just be confident in what you do. Talk us through the routine and that shrug that we saw from you out.
Yeah, so the original routine was a little bit different than what I ended up doing. I had a mistake, but I was quick thinking. I covered it up fast, and I stayed clean, so happy to take that 9-1 E-score. Got a 14-1. I love it.
And you said they're still scoring right now, so you will not know if you move on to night 2 until tomorrow morning. For you, though, if you do move on to night 2, what do you want to focus on? What are the tweaks that you want to make?
I mean, now that I've competed again, and I didn't compete the way I wanted to, I'm like, I want that day 2. I want to just go all out on day 2, hit a really nice routine, and now I have faith in myself that I can do it.
As you should. Crowd loved it here. Thanks again for the time, Steven.
Thanks for having me.
John?
He's always happy. And he said the word impossible. He should know by now. Nothing's impossible, Steven Nedoroscik. Welcome back to the Xfinity U.S. Gymnastics Championships. We are through 5 rotations, and it is all Asher Hong at the top. A dominating performance so far here today. Colt Walker, his fellow Stanford Cardinal, right behind him, and then Preston Ngai in that 3rd spot. Tim, we talked at the top. We thought it would be a 2-man race. Frederick Richard, Asher Hong, the 2 Olympians, the Olympic medalists, but it has turned out to be all Asher Hong. Frederick Richard really battling from behind at this point.
Well, we were 50% right.
Hey, that's a good record. If you're a baseball player, you are a star.
You know what, Asher Hong, he has been phenomenal from start to finish, and he goes to probably one of his best events, still rings. He was the first alternate to compete in the finals in Paris. I thought he should have been there, but he is tremendous there. The only way he's not leading by over 2.5 points is if he gets hurt, can't finish the routine.
Or the ring tower
falls over,
topples to the ground. So he's got a big lead over 2nd place Colt Walker right now as well. I don't want to call the meet. We're not even halfway through, but that's a lot to overcome. I mean, is this his title?
Well, there's still a lot to go, but without a doubt, he's put an exclamation mark on day 1, and he's going to add another one on still rings. But Colt Walker, very happy to see that young man really come into his own, deal with a lot of issues, and deal with the pressure. Good to see it.
Yeah, you can see the Stanford Cardinal huddling up, and that college atmosphere, they talked about it in Paris and how it carried over, and a big reason they felt they won that bronze medal. And you see it here today with these guys from Stanford. Moving on to the rings, and that is where we'll see Asher Hong here in a few moments, but right now it is Kai Umayura who will get his opportunity, start this 6th and final rotation.
A young guy in the sport of gymnastics, and typically, if you're young, really hard to develop the brute strength that you need to be able to do these Malteses and inverted crosses. He's just not quite there yet. He's a beautiful gymnast, shows great lines, but what happens is the D score doesn't rise high enough. Oh, but that was fabulous, and he'll get an extra 1/10 of a point added onto his D score for that stuck landing.
So the day is done for Umayura. See the scores top left of your screen. Preston Ngai holding on to that 3rd spot. Big day for him. One more look at the dismount.
Oh, gorgeous. Double twisting double, like a cat. And since we're on rings, John, I just heard that Donnell Whittenburg, like I thought, they would inquire about his D score, and they did, and it has been raised to a 6.0, which puts him in the category of being able to get a locked spot. So that is in play for Donnell Whittenburg. You see him right there.
And he is obviously leading that event, which is the other piece of that puzzle, and he's leading by over a point.
And so if the final results say he's got a 6.0, he doesn't even need to do that big dismount, because he doesn't even need to take that risk. He probably still will.
You just have to have that D score one time out of the 2 days of competition. Umayura a 12.45 for that ring routine. And now the leader, Asher Hong. This should be just a formality for him to hold on to that lead. Tremendous on this event, as Tim said.
You know, he was already strong a couple of years ago, and in the last year and a half has really made tremendous roads. And like I said, I was actually angry. I thought he really was screwed a little bit. Should have made the finals at the Olympic Games, was the first reserve. Here we go though, big test. Back up rise to an inverted cross. Very nicely done. Level and held. Good handstand position, more strength. Definitely 2 seconds. That was 3 seconds. Back up rise to planche, perfect position right there. It's a great routine, big dismount. He does a double twisting, double laid out somersault. Put it to your feet, small little hop. His lead will increase after that routine, without a doubt.
Well, you talk about a lead, Tim. When he won this national championship in 2023, he led after day one by less than 1/10. He's probably going to be leading this one by over 3 points, which is a massive lead in men's gymnastics.
Absolutely. Nearly got this stick as well. Super difficult, spots the ground, just a little bit shy. And John, was that more than a foot, that hop? Was that?
Do you want me to tell you what the judges are going to do?
I want you to tell me what you thought.
I think that was a 10th hop, Tim, that they'll take 3/10 on.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
I can't move, I'm cramped.
Yeah, he looked like he was cramping, just said he was.
I think I heard I can't move.
I can't move and it's cramping, yeah.
How you do it, how you do it.
Look at that, that's teamwork right there.
How about the guy he told, no, let Kai do it. It's like,
I'm auto cramping. I'm auto cramping, bro. It's cramping. My bicep.
Let's go, Tay!
14.818 for Asher Hong. He'll hold the lead in the all-around in second place, currently on still rings.
14.8, bro. 14.8. With a 0.6 bonus? Damn, I didn't even know I got a 0.6 bonus. Big boy set. Come on, Tay!
So the final event for Brody Malone, he's doing 4 today. Not doing the floor of the vault. We well chronicled his knee injury that he suffered leading into the Olympic Games. Many thought he would not have even a remote shot of making that team, but a remarkable recovery, made that team. But here now, taking it easy on that knee, just doing 4 events. Here's his parallel bar routine.
Johnny had to relearn how to walk again. It was one of the most impressive comebacks I've ever seen. Talking to Brody yesterday about the meet, and I asked him about parallel bars, and he says, parallel bars, it makes me so angry. I'm like, what do you mean? Why angry? He says, I have tried so many different types of skills, and I just can't find the right combination. But it was nicely done. He said, I don't even know why I'm competing it. I'm not competitive enough to have a shot at even helping Team USA out at this point in time. He's a little harsh on himself, as you can imagine. But
low start value is what he's referring to.
Yes,
just doesn't have that difficulty, but
he's got a code, a name in the code of points on parallel bars, though. And they actually, I believe, they raised the difficulty of it by a 10th, I think.
Well, he needs to put it back in.
Absolutely.
Let's do the Malone. I tell you what, he says he's going to take it year by year as far as going to LA. It's only 3 years away. I mean, it's wild in Olympic sports because the days are long, but the quads are short. And the Olympics are going to be here before you know it. But I think, he's not on his game today, but Team USA needs a Brody Malone. They need that leadership as well as the gymnastics he is capable of doing.
For sure.
Taylor Burkhart had the dream routine on high bar. Here he is finishing things off moments ago, on the still rings.
Also improved his strength quite a bit. Beautiful position. I find nothing wrong with that at all. That one right there, he got to the cross a little bit too high initially and then dropped down below the cross level. Small deductions though. Ooh. I've seen a lot of really good fights and really staying calm and cool under pressure from a lot of these athletes. Double-double, stuck landing, give him an extra 1/10 of a point.
Boom. 13-5-5. That is a good score today on rings. Obviously not going to hang with the Asher Hongs and Donnell Whittenbergs of the world, but certainly in the mix with the rest of the field.
Come on.
Brody Malone, a 13-8 for that parallel bar team.
Yeah, like you said, John, good execution score, 8.7, but only a 5.1 in the difficulty.
Not done. All the way. Come on, take it up. All the way. Let's go.
Frederick Richard getting ready for his final event, and it's a good one for him. It is the horizontal bar, trying to move up even more. He's been chipping away at it. 6th place currently after that 5th rotation, but not only this event could potentially move him up the all-around standings, Tim, but if he still has hope of making a mark on an event, and yes, the difficulty start value might not be high to automatically qualify, but still could be in contention for that world team if he can deliver here.
No, absolutely. You got to remember, there's criteria that will lock you in. We've had very few instances, I believe only parallel bars and Donnell Whittenberg on rings so far.
Well, you're mad about the Patrick Hoop start score. Are you going to personally inquire about that after the game?
I am going to talk to those judges. I just want to know what the issue is. But nobody has got the start score that is needed. He told me he doesn't have the start score on this event or any of them. And I misspoke. Asher Hong did have enough on vaulting. Ooh, gorgeous. Now he'll do his double flips with twists over the bar. This was a big routine, remember, in Paris, John, for Frederick Richard.
Yeah, this was one of those events where we're waiting. They got to get through this one to stay in contention, and man, they did, and I'll never forget that stuck dismount at the end.
New one for him. Oh my goodness.
Man, he wanted to stick that too.
He hasn't stopped, and that he needs to stop.
Yeah, all those extra steps, just keep adding deductions.
That's too bad. You know, it was an excellent routine for him. He wanted to do the triple back. It's new for him, gives him some extra tense.
Second day, you have something to strive for. Every single person here has something they can do.
Donnell Whittenberg, 5-time world team member, going for 6. And if he holds together on rings, he might get that automatic spot. Here he is on parallel bars.
John, if he stays with it to 2028, this is his 4th Olympic circuit, trying to qualify for the Olympic Games.
Unbelievable, and he has got to be the sentimental favorite for sure.
This skill right here, one of those elements that has been upgraded, that has been in Donnell's repertoire for a long time.
And he's got a repertoire. The man can do a lot of skills.
Nice dismount double front with a half turn. Really strong.
Really strong. That's an understatement when you're referring to Donnell Whittenberg. 13.85 for him on that parallel bar routine. Good day for Donnell. Most importantly on the event, he needed to deliver the still rings.
No matter what happens today, as long as we can walk away from this, that's a W in my book, okay? So like Sam said, It's going to be a bigger crowd. Let's bring the energy. Day 2, let's get out.
Good job today. You too, man. No.
Fuzzy Bennis making a little bit of a statement here today, too. 5th place after that 5th rotation. 6th place at the Olympic trials last year in an attempt to make that Olympic team, and he's climbing here. Certainly somebody to keep an eye on. Exciting athlete.
Absolutely. Kaz 1.5, and I can't tell you how often he does that, John. It's uncanny. 9.35 execution and a 1/10 bonus stick. He is a gamer.
Another athlete who's surprised the field a little bit today is Preston Ngai. 3rd place. Oh, and just put that 3rd place position in jeopardy with that opening stumble on that first pass.
And that right there, that is a bad scale. The gymnasts don't like it. You know, he probably was.
Say what you really think, Tim.
Yeah, and a stumble there on the 3.5 twist, super difficult, but that scale, he didn't hold it, and his legs weren't high enough. He's going to be very glad after this competition. He'll never have to do one of those again.
The lost art of the scale.
Pretty good, though, on the tumbling since the hiccup in the beginning. Double pike, and oh boy. Full point off.
You know, what surprised me about that routine is, you know, he's made it through this day and had a tremendous day on things that maybe could have tripped him up. Those mistakes, a double pike for an elite level athlete like Preston, my point is he made some mistakes on things that kind of surprised you at the end of a day that was otherwise pretty tremendous.
Yep, absolutely.
Obviously one more big day for him, 6 more events. He'll repeat these same routines.
I'll tell you what, though, the worst thing in the world for me was to have a mistake on the last thing I did in the gymnastics meet, in a 2-day meet.
Boys, first time at champs, first competition at champs, it's huge. Things don't go perfect sometimes, but we're still on the process to success. It's not winning competitions in the finals.
One, two, three.
Boom! Some wise words from an Olympic medalist.
We're gonna work on it.
The triple back guy, we saw him do the triple back early in the competition off the still rings, but this is where he has really made his splash, not just in the United States, but worldwide. 2 triple backs here in this routine.
They know who this guy is all over the world because of these first 2 tumbling passes. The first one is called a Nagorny. It's a triple somersault with his legs straight, so it's piked. Fantastic. Comes back. He'll do the same amount of flips, but with his knees tucked, a lot easier. Little bit of a hop on that, but so that magic number on this event for being a locked-in athlete for Worlds is a 6.1. He told me that.
Hold on the scale, Tim.
Yes, I know.
Hold your breath.
He told me the plan was to do a 6.3 as long as he does the big dismount. Oh boy, money right there. Let's see if he does the hard stuff. He does. Full twisting double layout. Little bit messy, but that is going to guarantee right there that he gets the criteria.
Stop the insanity, Tim. He's just, I remember 15.20 or 15.201, tremendous score, and he gets the bonus. I remember, I think it was back in 1993, Tim, you can correct me if I'm wrong, the first gymnast to do a triple back at a U.S. Championships, and I remember that it was such a big deal back then, but here we are, 2 in the same routine, one of them piked. It seems like we've gone to another planet.
Only person in the world to do that.
11.55 for Preston Ngai. Unfortunate finish to what was otherwise a great competition for him, but for Asher Hong, smooth from start to finish. The Olympic medalist has started the journey to LA strong. The 2025 Xfinity U.S. Gymnastics Championships is brought to you by Nike, bringing inspiration and innovation to every athlete around the world. Nike, the official partner of USA Gymnastics. By P&G, proud worldwide partner of the Olympic and Paralympic Games. By Sattva, unlock the superpower of restorative sleep. And by Xfinity, the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. One internet price, 5 years guaranteed. As we bring the Xfinity U.S. Championships to a close, let's look at the booming moment presented by Xfinity.
And it's Asher Hong all the way. Beautiful gymnastics, start to finish. Huge air. Look at the body position. Bam, hits the ground. But this is my absolute favorite. Gorgeous beyond belief. That is picture perfect.
Just like today's winning performance, the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee keeps your internet steady and reliable. Asher Hong, a 4.5-point lead over Fuzzy Bennis, who had a great day. Colt Walker as well. We're going to go down to Brittany, who's with Asher Hong. Brittany, I hope his cramps have gone away, though. That's my question.
Yeah, have your cramps gone away? We'll start there.
Sorry?
Cramps all gone?
Cramps are all gone now. Had some electrolytes and feeling a little better.
We like to hear an absolutely dominant performance, a lot of superlatives to describe it, but for you, how would you describe what you did tonight?
Well, just a little bit better than training.
That's fair to say, maybe a little humble.
No. I mean, all the work in the gym is what makes it happen here, and as long as I know I put in the work in the gym, and I can come to the competition confident, without any worries, without any regrets. So
how do you maintain that momentum in tonight too?
Keep the energy high. I guess I've been known as the hype man, and so no matter what the outcome is, I always like to hype up everyone and hype up myself. So I like to keep the energy high.
No doubt the squad has troubles hyping people up. Well done after night one. Thanks again.
Thank you.
John.
So nicely done. Thanks, Brittany. Asher Hong. Just got to keep that momentum, Tim, and just hit. Doesn't even probably have to hit 6 routines.
No, he absolutely doesn't. He could have more than 2 mistakes, I would say, at this point in time. But there were some other great performances. As you said, Fuzzy Bennis did a great job. Colt Walker has dealt with so much adversity and has come back. Frederick Richard, I think he was in 11th at one point. He ended up in 4th, so a great climb for him.
I will be very curious to see what Frederick Richard we see on day 2. I got a feeling that it's going to be stepped up a notch, and do I think he's going to catch Asher Hong? No, but he certainly could move up, maybe even into that 2nd spot. Having fun though, getting ready to head down to, maybe down to Bourbon Street. So nicely done. Stanford Cardinal well represented here at these U.S. Championships. We'll get ready to watch that Asher Hong day 2, see if he can get that 2nd national title. So that does it for day 1 of the men's competition here in New Orleans. The USA Gymnastics Foundation raises funds to inspire world-class achievement at all levels of the sport and life. Please visit usagymfoundation.org to learn more. You can watch all the routines at the USA Gymnastics YouTube channel after the broadcast. For Tim Daggett, Brittany Urton, and our entire NBC Sports crew, I'm John Roethlisberger saying so long for now from New Orleans, Louisiana, and the 2025 Xfinity U.S. Gymnastics Championship.